Today we're going to be talking a little bit about law school research. Particularly, we are going to be digging in to some things that you should know about the ABA 509 report. I'm Monique. I'm an associate law school consultant at Montgomery Admissions Consulting, where we specialize in working specifically with first-generation and minority law school applicants. For those who have not heard about the 509 report, you will hear this term come up a lot during the law school application, law school research process. It is basically a common data set that all law schools that are accredited by the ABA must complete and provide on their website for prospective students and current students. And so it includes some really important things. When I was an admissions officer, I got to work really heavily in the data side. I got to support our associate director with developing data reports and just sort of learning a little bit about the numbers behind all of the different facets of the admissions side. And I got really excited about 509 reports, just about telling students about them. I would always rave that I wish every industry had them and that students should absolutely take advantage of them when they are thinking about what law school might be a good fit for them. There are a couple of different ways that you can use a 509 report and a couple of different things that you want to keep in mind. And so we're going to go over that. I'm actually going to walk you through a 509 report. We're going to take a deep dive. And if I can't stop smiling, it's because when I think about data, I get happy. I don't know if you have something in your life that just like, you're like, you know what? I just like unabridged, unmitigated joy. Pivot tables, Excel sheets, those are what bring me to life. So I'm going to actually walk you through one of those reports and talk to you a little about the data that you can find there and why you might want to use it for your law school search. I'm also going to kind of dig into, when is the 509 report not enough and what are its limitations? That'll be a fun discussion as well. And so to get us started, I am going to dive into an actual 509 report. Now, you may be wondering, where can I find them? You hear the term 509, that sounds like a really great resource. Where do I pick that up? So there are a couple of places that you can always find a law school's 509 report. The first place is on their website. They have to have it listed on their website. It might be one of the first things you see when you visit an institution's webpage, and so I'll show you there. But it will also be found on the American Bar Association website. And if you're having trouble finding either of those places, which you shouldn't, that's totally okay. Usually, if you Google insert name of law school 509 report, it will be the very first thing to come up because they are constantly sort of updated, and it's just a really specific report. And so most of the time when I'm looking for a 509, I go straight to Google and it leads me right to the webpage that I need, which also usually holds a lot of other really helpful information. So I'm actually going to show you how to sort of go about finding the 509 report via Google and then also via a university's website. And then also I will take you to the website where you can find all 509 reports for all ABA accredited law schools, just so you have your pick as you're doing your own research. The first thing I'm going to show you is the 509 report, sort of compendium, ABA required disclosures.org. Very straightforward. That's what it's called, the standard 509, ABA required disclosures. It goes back the last 10 years or so. Really, really cool. It's usually the last academic year. So 2021 was the last year that's available. Usually in the months to come, you will see the 2022 report will come out for the year prior. So I'm going to look at 2021 because it's most recent, and I can pick any law school. You can't see my drop down here, but a drop down appears with every single ABA accredited law school, and you just take your pick. I'm going to pick University of Chicago. Why not? And then you generate that report and you have a very shiny new 509 report for the University of Chicago. I'm going to walk you through the things that you'll find on the 509 report. Right at the top, you will find some admissions information. Now, often this is available on the law school's website. That is really helpful, but sometimes you have to dig to find it. Sometimes all the numbers might not be there, things like that. You can always find it here. And so you can see the total number of applicants to the institution, as well as offers of admission and the acceptance rate. You can also see a little bit about sort of what enrollment looked like. That's not necessarily as central to your research in that usually the enrollment rate will be higher than the admission rate. which is on purpose. In addition to that, you will find all of the sort of academic metrics. So you'll find the GPA and LSAT. If a law school has been using the GRE for a good amount of time, you'll also probably find that in the data set as well, so that you can find their medians and all of that good stuff if you were looking for one place to get a peek at that. You can see the breakdown of if a law school does have part-time students. You can kind of see what the academic breakdown is. Often on a law school's website, the quartiles will be sometimes just a picture of all students. So if you want to see full-time versus part-time, how those academics may look the same or different, you can find that on the 509 as well, which is helpful for students who are considering sort of part-time programming where they might fall. You also get a range of data on faculty. So if you're interested in how many professors might be at an institution relative to students, you can find that here. You also get some other data on administrators and librarians, who are very cool. Law school librarians are some of my favorite people. They just know so much. You also get a breakdown of the awarded degrees. Another place I want to sort of turn you is the JD enrollment by generally race. And so this is a place that I would actually often point students to as one sort of resource to allow you to get a sense of what the demographic breakdown of an academic class in the law school might be. I think this is a very cool resource. It has its limitations, absolutely, but it allows you to sort of get a sense of what might demographically the community at this law school look like. Some students will ask me when I was an admissions officer, what does diversity look like at your institution? What are those numbers like? And I would often say every law school in the country has to actually tell you that, which I find to be really powerful. That is not the only measure of diversity. It's not even, it's not fully scratching the full surface, but it gives you a picture. It gives you one more piece of data about when I'm a 1L, what might my 1L classroom look like in terms of the folks who will be around me. And then you can ask those deeper questions and go a little bit farther. But this gives you a good starting place. I also want to point out a really, really final important note about the 509 report is grants and scholarships. This gives you a clear understanding of not only sort of the raw numbers of students who received a grant or a scholarship, but also the percentage of students who were offered a specific amount. So, right, half or full tuition, you'll see the percentage of the class who may have received that, full tuition, more than full tuition, and just like, right, overall, how much. You also get the quartiles of grant amounts received, which gives you a sense of, oh, this is about the middle 50% of what a student might expect to receive, using that as you make your mind up about what institutions might be able to provide you with relatively in amounts of aid. So this is a really good metric if you're starting to think about how do the schools that I am interested sort of compare in terms of the financial aid and scholarship funding that I can receive. This is sort of free money, grants and scholarships, as opposed to federal aid. In addition to that, there are some data points on attrition, transferring. One interesting thing that you'll see is what schools students transferred from. So that is an interesting data point and also allows you to kind of get a sense of if I were to want to transfer to the University of Chicago as a 2L, that doesn't mean that necessarily one institution will be better for that than another, but you can get a sense of where students are coming from. It's just more data, more information, more to think about. With that, I walked you through the biggest bits and pieces of the 509 report, but there are a lot of other data points in here, the type of institution, the application fee, all of sort of the high level data that might be helpful in sort of getting a closer look at your institutions that you're interested in applying to and being able to compare. One last thing that I want to show you is that you can actually download by year a piece of the pie of what you're looking for about an institution with the 509 report. So if you want to see grants and scholarships from all AVA accredited institutions, those quartiles, you can actually generate a report that allows you to see a entire list. It is a pretty basic data set, but if you're someone who likes numbers and wants to pick your 10 institutions that you're excited about and get a sense that way, you also can look at compilation of those numbers as well. So those are some of the things that I absolutely wanted to make sure that folks knew where to find, what to find, and the like. The last thing I want to talk about is sort of what the limitations are of the 509. It is a really amazing resource. As I mentioned, I would direct students to the 509 often. I think that a common data set and being able to sort of see the various ways that institutions sort of can reflect financial aid, academic pieces, and their community through the numbers is really helpful, especially when you're looking at dozens of schools, being able to get a better sense of your favorite institutions. I will say that there are limitations to the 509. The 509 doesn't tell you what the community is like. It doesn't give you a sense of the specific programs that you might be interested in an institution. It does give you sort of a high-level understanding of some of those more logistical pieces, and it's really helpful for making those granular differences between institutions that might be hard to see from a school's website all in one place. But if you want to understand sort of what's going on a deeper level, looking into programs of study, looking into what students are up to on campus, looking into professors that you would be interested in learning from, all of that kind of rises above the numbers and will take that deep focused research. So I would definitely keep that in mind. It is a tool, it's an amazing tool, but it also sort of is just the first step or even the last step as you think about your law school selections. A few other sort of places I would definitely suggest looking. I was just speaking with a student yesterday about using a university's magazine or bulletin as another good way to get a sense of what are the opportunities I'm interested in this institution, where are the places that the institution is most excited about, what are the new initiatives. Often Googling or looking at a school's website can be helpful, but again, once you get past that high level, being able to say, oh wow, these students worked on this project or assisted this client through this program, and getting to see the narrative of that and actually getting to see how those programs and centers and clinics are applied is a great way to sort of get a better sense of the institution, get a better sense of what you might be able to do as a student as well. I am so thrilled that I got to share the 509 report with you. Please lean into the data, lean into the research, get to know the institutions you're excited about, and have strong reasons for your law school choices. Bye everyone.